Alyse, again, so appreciate you taking the time today to join us. We know that you're getting ready for the Challenge Cup. You just mentioned that you're finally back in your offices, but let's go back a little bit and explain what the last few months have been like for yourself and your club.
Well, certainly unpredictable, I think, is the first term, and just feeling incredibly grateful that all the players, technical staff has gotten through this relatively unscathed, at least from a health perspective. But we really took the last couple months to take more of a people first and player second mentality. And really just trying to keep an eye on players' mental health and making sure that they were feeling good, since we were all really going through something that we had not planned for in any way.
So as an overall, and not just your club, have there been any discussions or any concern that the pandemic could be detrimental to the NWSL?
I never really felt that we've taken that approach to it. It's more just being nimble. We're a smaller grassroots league and have the ability to shift pretty quickly. So for us, I think as a board of governors, really was about looking at this situation and obviously seeing it as a major challenge, but saying, how can we go around this? How can we get through this? What are the things we can do to innovate within this space? And maybe having to look at doing something different than just a regular season that we had planned for. So I'm really pleased that with certainly the help of our new commissioner, Alyse LaHue, coming on board, really just, I think she started the job a week before this all really hit. So it's certainly been a quick learning experience for her coming into the National Women's Soccer League, but really pleased with the efforts everybody has taken to put together something that we feel is going to be both incredible for the league, for fans and players, but also doing it with the utmost safety in mind as we proceed with this.
So 2019 was a huge year for women's football, even here in Canada. I mean, the interest level of the World Cup was just so monstrous. Is there any concern that some of that momentum may be lost after having to take this pause?
Yeah, I think for us, I always say that women's sports in general, we have pretty limited media coverage overall. So I've joked to many other people that I don't think the pandemic is going to change that. We still pretty much hold steady at our 4% of coverage typically. So we're used to operating with not a lot of coverage. And, every sports league has gone through this. It's not isolated just to women's football right now. Obviously, all sports and all industries are going through a pretty dramatic shift. So again, I go back to feeling fairly pleased that as a league, we've shifted really quickly and come up with a solution in the Challenge Cup to be able to proceed with something, again, that we feel is safe for everybody. Now, obviously, with the U.S. women's national team winning the World Cup and here in the U.S., that gives us great momentum as a league. But I believe that will continue. With looking towards the Olympics next year, there's still a lot of excitement and really just seeing the enthusiasm of the fans as we approach this Challenge Cup. It tells me that everybody is really eager for women's football to get back out there.
Now, you mentioned a little on it in your last answer, but women's sports, I mean, they're so used to facing adversity. Do you think that they're actually better equipped coming out of this than if they hadn't faced anything in the past?
Yeah, certainly. We're resilient. We've been through a lot of changes as leagues, and again, my favorite word is nimble, being small and being able to pivot rather quickly. So for us, I think this was just another bump in the road for us to continue to navigate. And I don't feel that we're going to lose a tremendous amount of momentum either this season or next. There's still a lot of excitement around women's football. And I think with the Challenge Cup, even you can see that the sponsors that have come on board and the scope and scale of those sponsors that were really eager to be a part of women's football right now. We've got 2 title sponsors in P&G and Secret that have come on board. Verizon just announced a 3-year partnership with our league. So even from a business standpoint, I think right now things look incredibly healthy. And again, I go back to having the opportunity to actually pay our players for a full season, even if it may only look like 2 months right now. That I felt is incredibly important for us and for our longevity, showing that we're going to continue to put the players first and continue to focus on their well-being as professional athletes, and managing that has been really important as well.
So the NWSL is now poised to be the first North American pro sports team to return to action. Do you think it is important for a women's league to be one of the first ones back?
Admittedly, for myself, I don't think it's a race to be the first back. The circumstances have aligned in that we have been one of the first to come back to play, but I speak for myself personally. I don't feel that it's a race to get back out there, certainly in a pandemic. But we've found ourselves in a situation where we've found enough safety protocols and have worked with a medical task force to feel like we are okay getting back out there at this time. And we found a location to do it as safely as possible. So for me personally, I can't speak on behalf of the league, but for me, it wasn't a race to get back on the pitch and be the first league back out there. I don't feel that's the most important thing. But certainly to have this opportunity to play at a time when there's such an interest in watching sports. Certainly, we've seen it with the Bundesliga, and the Frauen Bundesliga just came back this morning, which was exciting to watch. There's a palpable interest for folks watching and tuning into sports right now. So I do believe that it certainly could be helpful from a rating standpoint for fans to have this opportunity to tune in as we are one of the first leagues to return.
I think one of the great things for fans, too, is the way the league has connected with them throughout all of this. Can you explain some of the positives that the league has taken, maybe like the trivia nights, for the fans to stay connected to the players in this league?
Yeah, I can certainly, I'll speak on behalf of my own club, Sky Blue. When this first happened and our staff had to end up working from home, I said on day one, you're all going to have new jobs. It simply is not going to look the same way it did before. So we really pivoted into the digital realm, and community is one of our big keywords here at Sky Blue. And we've been working really hard over the last year to bring our fans back into the fold. So we've come up with all these new tools to utilize, and certainly Zoom and all these digital platforms have been tremendously helpful for us to keep that sense of community at a time when I think people really, really need it more than ever. With so many people in social isolation, whether it's just with their families or alone like myself for a couple months, even for us and for our players to have these opportunities to interact with our fans in these digital means. We did player Q&As, we did the trivia nights, which you mentioned, we did bingo night, we did some activities that would support our local communities, like ordering from local restaurants, and got a ton of great feedback from all of that. So for us, I think, we shifted into this new way of living and working, but there are so many things we're going to take from this experience that I actually think we can convert into a positive. Like, we never thought about doing these video events with fans before, but these are things we can continue to do even when we do get back out on the pitch and when fans are allowed to come back to the stadiums. It's proven to be a really easy way to connect with everybody. So I think we'll absolutely continue that and turn that into a positive moving forward.
Alyse, certainly appreciate the time today. All the best to you and your club at the Challenge Cup, and hopefully we talk soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.